We remain committed. First tonight on Our News, the U.S. affirms its relationship with the Bahamas.
During a time where fear and speculation is at an all-time high, the United States ambassador is reaffirming his country's support to the Bahamas. Stay tuned to Our News tonight for more details.
Also, in a dramatic courtroom development, former Police Staff Association Chairman Sonny Miller has been remanded to prison following multiple drug trafficking convictions. And Economic Affairs Minister Michael Alkita says eliminating VAT on food items was always part of the Prime Minister's long-term plan. Then in Our News at 7:30, legendary marina resort at Blue Water Key now open, marking a major boost for marine tourism. Local and international boaters now being attracted. Our News live at 7 starts right now. Welcome to Our News, live at 7. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Kendino Knowles. In a dramatic turn of events, former Police Staff Association Chairman ASP Sonny Miller is remanded to prison after the conviction of multiple drug trafficking offenses. Jerome Sawyer gets us started tonight.
Acting Assistant Chief Magistrate Shaka Seville delivered the verdict, finding Miller guilty of 10 counts related to a significant drug seizure in Acklands back in June 2022. ASP Sonny Miller, who also served as Police Staff Association Chairman, was out on bail pending trial, showed disappointment as he shook his head when the verdict was read. He faces serious charges, including possession of marijuana and cocaine with the intent to supply, as well as conspiracy to import drugs. He'll return to court for sentencing on February 24th. At the time of his arrest, Miller was in charge of police operations in Acklands, Crooked Island and Long Key. Testimony from two Colombian pilots, Christian Artizabal and Christian Aragon, revealed that Miller helped them offload drugs into a jeep. Things took a turn when a U.S. Coast Guard helicopter arrived on the scene. In a twist, Miller pulled a gun on the pilots and arrested them. Footage from the helicopter supported their story, showing all three men moving bundles from the plane to the police vehicle just before law enforcement arrived. The two Colombian pilots pleaded guilty last year and were sentenced to 60 months in prison as part of a plea deal. This conviction now adding to concerns about corruption within the local law enforcement agencies as we await sentencing. Reporting for Our News, I'm Jerome Sawyer.
All right, thanks for that, Jerome. A 29-year-old man is dead after he was ambushed by 3 gunmen at a business on Bernard Road just after 5 p.m. Wednesday. At the scene, Chief Superintendent Sharia King told reporters the victim was shot in the chest, arm, and abdomen. King says officers were alerted to the country's latest killing by shot spotter technology. She also provided these details about what investigators learned about the crime.
Our preliminary investigation have begun into this matter, and what we have learned or discovered thus far is that the deceased was doing some work at a local establishment in the area when a Japanese vehicle pulled up. The occupants, 3 males, exited the vehicle, produced their firearms, and shot at the deceased, fatally wounding the deceased.
And investigations into that killing are ongoing. Well, just a day after the U.S. announced a pause on processing of immigrant visas for citizens in 75 countries, including the Bahamas, U.S. Ambassador Herschel Walker said the United States is still committed to supporting the Bahamas as it has done for years. The news raising more questions, and while Walker didn't speak on the matter specifically, he told attendees at Bahamas Business Outlook the U.S. continues to value our nation as a neighbor and friend. Joshua Williams reports.
United States Ambassador to the Bahamas Herschel Walker reaffirming his country's commitment to the Bahamas. On Wednesday, the U.S. State Department advised it will suspend the processing of immigrant visas for citizens of 75 countries, including the Bahamas, a move that's raised a lot of concerns. Walker didn't address the visa pause directly, but says they'll continue to support us as they've done before in our darkest hours.
When the Bahamas needed us, we were there, and we always will be there. When Hurricane Melissa hit, the U.S. came with money for shelter, water, sanitation. We helped with storm tracking and evacuation.
Ambassador Walker says they're also still committed to long-term investments, helping Bahamians to thrive, focusing on employment and infrastructure.
For example, the U.S. Export-Import Bank committed to $276 million in financing over the past 2 years to help provide energy for economic growth in the Bahamas. Starlink stepped up to deliver affordable internet to the family islands, and I'm happy to see so many Bahamians employed by top-tier American companies like Hyatt, Citadel Bank, and FedEx. And I have a few companies in mind I'd like to bring here as well.
And while our reputation in the tourism industry is already set, Walker says they want to help us take it to the next level.
And we can move the Bahamas from a regional sea base tourist place to a global space-based tourism leader.
And despite the good work and relationships, the ambassador says there are still pressing issues that need to be tackled.
Get serious about tackling common threats such as drug trafficking, illegal migration, cybersecurity, and the supply chain problems.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
All right, thanks for that, Josh. And government reaffirming its position on value-added tax reduction. Economic Affairs Minister Michael Alquita says it was always Prime Minister Philip Davis's intention to eliminate VAT on food. His comments at the Office of the Prime Minister's weekly press briefing. In a national address Monday night, Davis announced VAT would be eliminated on the sale of unprepared food. The new reduction comes a year after the first cut from 10 to 5% last April. The tax cut, the latest in a series of VAT adjustments under the Davis administration. Alquita went on to make this promise.
As long as the Progressive Liberal Party is in power, VAT on grocery will be zero. This is a continuation of our commitment that began even before the election. And so it is not timed to coincide with any upcoming election that is due within a year, but just a continuation of our stance in terms of reduction of VAT on food. And I would say that sitting in meetings with the Prime Minister, with the technical team from the Ministry of Finance, the Prime Minister had indicated to us as far as 3 years ago that he wanted to move towards the total elimination of VAT on food.
And the minister was also questioned about the readiness of store owners who must now adjust to the VAT cut.
I'm sure that if they dig deep, they'll be able to do it. What we have done is consistently, whenever we've made the changes, we've given a period of 3 months. We believe that with the automation and these point of sale systems and inventory management systems, if they apply themselves to it, they should be able to do it. I'm sure they can do it. We think 3 months is sufficient time.
Meanwhile, viral videos circulating on social media showing a heated exchange during that recent demolition exercise at a Spanish Wells shantytown, which we reported on yesterday. It's prompting officials to move quickly to clarify what happened and who had authority on the ground. Chairman of Unregulated Community Action Task Force, Superintendent Stephen Carey, says police were not there to make arrests, but to keep the peace as illegal structures were being demolished under the authority of Ministry of Works. Carey confirmed the individual seen in the video was not arrested and was given a stern warning after previous instructions for self-demolition were ignored.
When the task force, Unregulated Community Action Task Force, comes for demolition at any location, police officers on that site are only there to keep the peace. The Ministry of Works Building Control Officer has all power to demolish all building, any building in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas that is not up to code. Therefore, we are here just as a peacekeeper, and that is what we try to do. We try to de-escalate any situation that there is, and then we will continue to do that to the best of our ability.
Works Minister Clay Sweeting in a statement condemned the behavior seen in the videos, calling it repugnant, stressing that it does not reflect the values of the Spanish Wells community. The minister also praised Royal Bahamas Police Force and Defense Forces and ministry staff for their professional handling of the situation. Meanwhile, Superintendent Carey alleges the reaction may have been fueled by the fact the property was being used as a source of income, adding this is the first incident of its kind, with similar operations across other islands described as peaceful.
This is a sensitive matter. We still have a lot of other things going on right here in this village. Therefore, we choose to give her a stern warning, and that seemed to be suffice at this time. All of the demolition taking place in Abaco and New Providence, Eleuthera, has been peaceful. This is the first community that we've been in that we've had an incident like this.
All right, we've got much more to get to tonight, but for now, it's time for your first look at temperatures. Meteorologist Greg Thompson, he is standing by in the Weather Center. Greg?
Yeah, thanks, Gideon, and happy Thursday evening, everybody. If you stepped outside and you felt the cool temperatures, yeah, that cold front is pushing through our area right now. It's moving through the capital right now and pushing into the southeast Bahamas, central Bahamas, pardon me. But it is bringing some cool air mass across us, 71 degrees under partly cloudy skies, and it is breezy on the outside. Your winds are out of the west at 24 miles per hour, and they are gusting high at times. It feels like temperature very cool, 68 degrees. Temperatures right now around the northern islands, 65 in Freeport, Grand Bahamas, 66 over in Marsh Harbor, Abaco, 67 in Alistown, Bimini. We pick up 71 in Nicholstown, Andros, here in the capital, 70 in Great Harbor Key, over in Governor's Harbor, that's in Eleuthera, 73 there. Central Bahamas, 72 in Kemps Bay, 74 Black Point, Exuma, Georgetown, Exuma as well, and in Coburn Town, San Salvador. 76 is Arthurstown, Cat Island, Port Nelson, Rum Key, Deadman's Key, 76 also, and into the southeast Bahamas. Warmer still with 77s in Duncantown, Ragged Island, Delectable Bay, Matthewtown, Inagua, and Providenciales, Tricks, and Caicos Islands. Abrahams Bay, 76, and looks like Colonel Hill, Crooked Island, you are the warm spot at 78 degrees. Satellite radar composite, the setup right now, we had two frontal boundary, one a stationary front that moved back across the northwest Bahamas, actually pushed through the capital early today, brought us some isolated showers across our area, and the second front now moving across the capital as we speak, had pushed into the northwest Bahamas earlier this afternoon. Behind that, a very cold air mass is expected to spread across the southeast United States. We will tap into some of that cool air mass, but the winds are going to be very strong along the boundary, so boaters and beachgoers, not good to get into the waters tonight through tomorrow. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Coming up in sports, the first Corn Ferry Tour champion has been crowned in the Bahamas.
Hey, Greg Thompson here, and thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button. And if you want to see more content like this, follow all of our news social media pages. And hey, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
Yo, what's good, my loyal viewers? Ronaldo Dorset of 10YS here. First of all, thanks so much for watching, but be sure to hit that follow button. If you'd like to see more content like this, follow all of the Our News social media pages, and of course, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team, well, from the teams you already trust.
It's where history meets justice. These courts decide the future, one case at a time. From e-filing to specialized courts, change is already taking root. But challenges remain. Backlogs, resources, and aging facilities still test the system. On January 14th, we are live for the opening of the legal year. Join us as we take you inside the ongoing modernization of the judiciary and explain what it means for you and for the administration of justice. Only on RTV.
When I started in telecommunications in 1998, I was bored and overwhelmed because I said, this is the best kept secret in the world.
The Bahamas issued a call for a cable license.
So we were a startup, a brand new entity in a brand new country with a product that nobody really understood.
People didn't believe, it was difficult. Ingram said that will never happen.
They turned us down, and Phil decided, you know what?
Welcome to Our Sports at 7, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm John Mark Nutt. Let's do show. Taylor Dixon won the 2026 Bahama Golf Classic at Atlantis Paradise Island, capturing the first Korn Ferry Tour title of the season. Dixon shot a bogey-free tournament, finishing at a record-setting 27 under par over 4 rounds, a new low score for this event. He closed with a 7 under 65 in Sunday's final round to secure the 3-stroke victory. AJ Storr helped his Ole Miss Rebels to one of the biggest upsets on the college basketball schedule last night. The Ole Miss Rebels needed overtime, but ultimately defeated the Georgia Bulldogs 97-95 last night in Athens, Georgia. Coming off the bench, Storr played 38 minutes and had a season-high 27 points as well as 8 rebounds and 4 assists. The University of the Bahamas had a busy weekend with the start of the track and field season and the return of the volleyball season. The men and women's track and field team opened their 2026 season at the T-Birds Flyers Track and Field Classic this past weekend. Sprinters Marquel Newbold and Disha Major secured victories in the 200 and 100 meter races respectively. Levine Joseph placed second in the open men's 800 meters race after crossing the line at 1 minute 57.32 seconds. Over on the volleyball court, the team was back in action for the first time in 2026 where they took on the Sessi Poppers. UB won the matchup in 3 sets with a score of 25-13, 25-13, and 25-17. That would do it for Our Sports. Stay tuned to Our News at 7:30 for details on these stories and more.
When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as at least 32 people are dead and dozens more injured after a construction crane collapsed onto a passenger train in northeastern Thailand. And the U.S. Senate blocking efforts to restrict President Donald Trump from taking further military action in Venezuela. The story when our news returns.
When I started in telecommunications in 1998, I was bored and overwhelmed because I said, this is the best kept secret in the world.
The Bahamas issued a call for a cable license.
So we were a startup, a brand new entity in a brand new country with a product that nobody really understood.
People didn't believe, it was difficult. Ingram said that will never happen.
They turned us down, and Phil decided, you know what? Well, we're gonna chart our own destiny, and we're gonna build our own network.
Once you started to hear about cable TV, it really didn't make any difference because your reality was, okay, we're gonna have one more channel, and you didn't think it was going to have such an impact until you got it.
It only takes a second for things to go wrong. Are you prepared? Don't become a statistic. Follow these simple rules. Leave early, obey road signs, wear seatbelts, invest in hands-free devices, and don't drink and drive. I'm Inspector Gerard Cum of the Royal Bahamas Police Force, reminding you that road safety is no accident.
It's more than a podcast. It's a movement. This is Breaking the Silence with Junior Clovis, where conversations we avoid finally have a place to breathe. Every story, every struggle, every breakthrough is brought to light, unfiltered and unspoken until now. Join us this Sunday at 2 p.m. as we confront the topics that matter, share real experiences, and change the conversation around mental health together. Watch, listen, break the silence.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
This is Our News. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. Cleanup and recovery efforts are underway in Thailand after a deadly train derailment in the northeast. At least 32 people were killed and 66 others injured when a construction crane collapsed onto a passenger train in Nakhon Ratchasima province. Authorities say the train was traveling from Bangkok when the crane, working on a high-speed rail project, struck two carriages, causing the train to derail and briefly catch fire. Nearly 200 people were on board. An investigation is now underway. The United States Senate has blocked an effort to limit President Donald Trump from taking further military action in Venezuela without congressional approval. Republicans voted 51-50 to stop the War Powers Resolution after pressure from White House and GOP lawmakers who had previously supported it. Just 3 Republicans sided with Democrats, forcing Vice President J.D. Vance to cast the tie-breaking vote, killing the measure. Supporters say Congress must have a say in military action, while opponents argue the U.S. is not currently at war with Venezuela.
On this vote, the yeas are 50, the nays are 50, the Senate being equally divided. The Vice President votes affirmative, and the point of order is sustained.
And following that vote, the remains of 32 Cuban soldiers killed during that U.S. military operation in Venezuela have arrived in Havana to be returned to their families after a solemn ceremony. The soldiers died during the U.S. raid to capture President Nicolas Maduro, which Havana says involved its military personnel serving alongside Venezuelan forces. Cuban officials and thousands of citizens paid tribute as the flag-draped remains were received at the airport. Government has described the fallen troops as heroes defending a sister nation, even as tensions with the U.S. continue to grow following the operation. And illegal dumping, more than just an eyesore. It's a serious environmental risk, and unfortunately here at home, there's no shortage of that illegal activity. Ministry of Environment has taken to notice, launching environmental and cleanup initiatives aimed at addressing illegal dumping in communities across the capital. One of their first stops, Nassau Village. Jasmine Brown has more in tonight's Sustainability First.
Bahamas First, putting sustainability first for our people and our environment. What's first for you and the planet comes first for us.
When residents choose to dispose of waste in unauthorized areas like empty lots, roadsides, or even waterways, they contribute to a growing problem that affects communities, wildlife, and the environment. And the consequences can be dire. Experts say dumped waste slowly leaches hazardous substances like microplastics and toxins into the soil. It also contaminates the water and air. And there's the harm to local wildlife by driving animals from their homes and sickening those that eat the waste. It also creates visual pollution that residents shouldn't have to live with, as living next to or near an illegal dumping site drives down property values. Also, the cleanup costs can add up to hundreds of thousands spent removing dumped waste. No one knows that better than Environment Minister Zane Lightbourne. We caught up with him in the Nassau Village community, where he and the area MP Jamal Strawn were at the launch of a cleanup campaign at an illegal dump site.
What we saw was appalling. The level of dumping, it went from bulk waste items and vehicles to bags of trash, of residential garbage and waste. This is not only hazardous to communities in terms of the health of the environment, but the health of our people. In addition to that, we saw adjacent properties that were filled with garbage, and they were turned into mini dump sites.
The Environment Minister calls the crime unacceptable and says residents should never become comfortable with illegally dumping. To prevent future dumping, he says the ministry is setting up a transfer station for Nassau Village residents.
I want to be very clear. A transfer station is not a dump site. A transfer station is an area where, instead of accumulating garbage in the bushes and bulk items in the bushes and on the side of the road, this will be a place where you can bring bulk items. Bulk waste does not include residential waste and garbage.
Lightbourne says he hopes campaigns like this can help reduce illegal dumping, making it a win-win for everyone. Reporting for our news and reminding you to put sustainability first, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Still to come in our news, today in history, find out interesting facts about the day that was January 15th. And coming up in our news at 7:30, Downtown Freeport Business Association reinforcing the importance of shopping local and the impact it has on families and the wider economy. Megan Shepard has more in tonight's Grand Review when our news returns.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and boost your outreach with SMS bulk messaging. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
Every year, car theft in the Bahamas rises. Thieves are getting smarter and faster. Is your car a target? Compact vehicles are at risk. Don't become a victim. Simple steps can make all the difference. Lock your car. Invest in anti-theft devices. Park smart. Protect yourself. Stay alert. I am PC 4392 Trayshawn Ferguson. Stay vigilant. Report suspicious activity. And let's create safer communities together. Learn more by visiting theroyalbahamaspoliceforce.org.
My name is Troy Williams. I've been a live fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed actually had...
On this day in Bahamian history, in 2013, BEC union members protested outside the Blue Hill Road plant following comments by then Chairman Leslie Miller over alleged overtime abuse. In 2018, then opposition leader Philip Davis criticized the Minister administration over crime. And in 2019, hackers targeted Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas, demanding Bitcoin ransom. It's a demand the government refused. If you want to learn more about the events that shaped the day that was January 15th, head over to ournews.bs. All right, that's going to do it for us in News at 7. Natalia Hall, she's up next at 7:30. But first, it's time now for Thursday is the New Friday with entertainment correspondent Danielle Miller. And as we know by now, she's somewhere on the island getting the weekend started. Denny?
Hey Ken, I am at Atlantis Paradise Island, and if you know me, you know this is one of my favorite places to come, and I am at their newest restaurant called Amber. I was here earlier today, but I decided to come back tonight just for a drink because I like the ambiance. As you can see behind me, there's this little wine cellar thing that's going on, and I want to give a shout out to Miss Dean. I met Miss Dean when we were doing the campaign for Auto Mall, and she came up to me and she said, "Hey, I know you. You're the girl from the news. You're a little alcoholic." No, Miss Dean, I'm not an alcoholic. I just have an eye for a good time. I would also like to shout out Mr. Pinder, Miss Major, and the people of Moores Island. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And I have that restaurant review coming up for you in our 7:30 p.m. broadcast. All right, guys and gals, you know the drill. Until next week. There you go. You said it. Back to you in studio.
Looks like a good time.
I just said this. Denny is always a good time.
Always a good time.
It's always a good time. And you know what?
Friday,
That viewer who's seeing her go from place to place. We're talking about Amber, Ceylon, Perch, some other places that she's gone to. I can see how she'd come up with that. But hey, Denny, always the consummate professional. So sure. Every time a good time, but always professional at what she does.
Right. Thanks so much for that, Denny. And stay tuned to our news on Thursdays to see more is like that one with our Daniel Miller. For now, here are your latest headlines. First tonight on our news at 7:30, a magistrate has denied bail to 2 American men accused of illegally operating sports fishing charters and drug possession with intent to supply. We have courtroom details coming up. Also, an announcement could soon come in the ongoing arbitration between government and the Grand Bahama Port Authority, according to the Office of the Prime Minister. Plus, Prime Minister Philip Davis says a potential conflict of interest prompted a well-known businessman to withdraw his application to run in the Maikal constituency. We have the full story straight ahead. And later, Works Minister Clay Sweeting says more than 530 illegal structures have been demolished over the past 2 years, with enforcement efforts set to continue in 2026. The story when our news at 7:30 returns.
Dino Notes here, and thank you so much for watching. Be sure and hit that follow button if you want to see more stories like this. Be sure and follow all of the Our News social media pages. And hey, don't forget, turn on your notifications so you never miss out on top stories from the team you already trust.
Whether you're battling a chronic condition or offsetting a new injury, Doctors Hospital's comprehensive rehab services offer the help you need now.
Go to doctors.
3 advanced facilities at Collins Avenue, Carmichael Road, and Cable Beach means your personalized plan for care is just a visit away. From physiotherapy to occupational therapy and speech and language pathology, our team approach is all about rebuilding together. For a full list of services, visit doctorshosp.com/rehabilitation. Doctors Hospital, trusted and best care now. Isn't your health worth it?
It's Christmas, come again. Time for color, family and friends. Red and green, the perfect pair. For a season so sincere. Baby Jesus.
Welcome to our news. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Natalia Hall. First tonight, a magistrate denied bail to 2 Americans accused of illegally operating sports fishing charters and drug possession with intent to supply. Prosecutors say Matt Blodgett and Isfrain Ferrero Jr., both from Florida, operated 17 illegal charters on the vessel Raincheck between March 23, 2024 and January 12, 2026. The men were allegedly found with 3 marijuana vape pens when they were arrested at Black Point, Exuma this week. The accused were not required to enter pleas to the charges when they appeared before senior magistrate Raquel Wims. The matter was adjourned to April 24th for the presentation of a voluntary bill of indictment. Well, an announcement could soon come on the arbitration between government and the Grand Bahama Port Authority. That's according to the Office of the Prime Minister's Press Secretary Keishla Smith, who gave the update during the weekly OPM press briefing this morning. Their relationship became strained back in 2023 when Prime Minister Philip Davis criticized the GBPA in Parliament, accusing them of failing to meet its obligations under the Hawksbill Creek Agreement to maintain Freeport's infrastructure and drive economic growth on the island. The GBPA quickly pushed back, stating these responsibilities, like the Grand Lucine Resort, healthcare facilities, and the airport, are government commitments, not theirs. Fast forward to April 2024, the conflict escalated when government gave the GBPA 30 days to pay $300 million or face arbitration. The GBPA denied owing anything. By May 2024, Davis told attendees of a Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce dinner that he's had enough of what he perceives as scare tactics. Opposition leader Michael Pintard criticized the public feud, questioning the PLP chairman's involvement in the dispute. Fast forward to today, and that matter is still ongoing. But here's what Smith had to say.
As far as I am advised, that arbitration, which was initiated, could be resolved and a decision announced any time from now. I noticed that there is also in the headlines a discussion among a group of business persons who are proposing to offer an alternative to the port. That is not something that this office has been formally in any sort of discussions about, but suffice it to say that the government and the Prime Minister awaits that decision. That arbitration, of course, was initiated in the interest of removing many of the deterrents to development in the city of Freeport and by extension the island of Grand Bahama.
And that's Press Secretary from the Office of the Prime Minister, Keishla Adderley. Well, Prime Minister Philip Davis says a possible conflict of interest led to Tribune President Robert DePuch Karen withdrawing his candidacy application for the Michael constituency. The businessman expressed interest in the Michael seat that consists of Maguana, Inagua, Crooked Island, Acklands, and Long Key after current Member of Parliament Basil McIntosh announced last year he would not seek re-election. Speaking on the sidelines of the Bahamas Business Outlook Conference at Bahamar Thursday morning, Davis says DePuch is still a supporter of the party.
He was the leading personality for the nomination. Regrettably, he spoke to me and he recognizes that because of what he's doing for the country through the program vaccine that he has, that there might be potential conflicts along the way. And he did the honorable thing and said, let me step aside, but I'm going to support you and whoever you put it.
Well, approximately 530 illegal shantytown structures have been demolished in the past 2 years throughout the country. That's according to Works Minister Clay Sweeting. Just this past Majority Rule Day, over a dozen structures were demolished in Spanish Wells, Eleuthera, with hundreds of notices still on the doors of other structures across the country. Speaking on the sidelines of the Bahamas Business Outlook Conference at Bahamar Thursday morning, Sweeting says they'll continue to put pressure on lawbreakers this year.
All are Bahamians, and young Bahamians at that. So you understand the process that all of us have to go through to apply for building plan approvals, to get your environmental assessments done, all of that. So this is a message that the government is sending loud and clear that shanty towns will not be tolerated. I've stated this over the past 2 years, and we'll continue with the exercise.
All right, well, a new luxury marina resort is now welcoming boaters to New Providence. Legendary Marina Resort at Blue Water Key has officially opened its doors, marking a major milestone for the marine tourism in the Bahamas. And the high-end development is already drawing attention from local and international boaters. Let's take a look. Legendary Marina Resort at Blue Water Key is positioning itself as a premier destination for boaters seeking both convenience and security. Phase 1 of the development is now complete, laying the foundation for what's planned to become a full-service marina resort. The first phase includes critical lower infrastructure, 50 wet slips, dry storage capable of holding up to 300 boats, and 3 fueling stations, which owner William Pizzorni says was all completed after 4 years of planning and construction.
I can facilitate the life of many boaters, of knowing that now they have one place where their boats are going to be super well taken care of. If they have a mechanical issue, they can be repaired. If we have a hurricane, the boats can be put in a safe place. Talking about hurricanes, next year we're also going to open our boatyard. So we're bringing a 240 tons travel lift, so we'll be able to haul out boats up to 120 footer. So we'll have dry storage for boats up to 60 foot.
The marina is also creating opportunities for Bahamians. With the exception of one team member, the workforce is entirely local. Staff are also receiving specialized training aimed at strengthening the marine industry long term.
The forklift operator, it's something that needs to be properly trained. As you know, we move $1 million boats. So we brought a professional from the US early December that he trained 2 of our employees. And nowadays, our 2 local guys here from Nassau, they are our forklift operators.
He says the feedback has been positive. And as for the audience they are attracting,
we've basically been seeing a mix of customers. We're getting a lot of local people. When I say about local people, a lot of Bahamians and a lot of foreigners that own property in the Bahamas that also keep the boats. So,
looking ahead, phase 2 of the project will expand the marina even further, adding more wet slips, a restaurant, and a street-style shopping mall. As for the CEO's final vision for the project, he says to be a safe haven for boats.
Here in the Bahamas, you have different service centers. You have a lot of beautiful marinas, but you do not have one marina where you have wet slips, you have dry slips, you have full service marina, supermarket. In the future, we're also going to have a resort. So I see this development in the next 2-3 years being the main hub of smart boaters.
All right, well, earlier this week, we told you about the Downtown Freeport Business Association and all of the benefits that come along with membership. Tonight, the Vice President is driving home the message of shopping local and what that means to local entrepreneurs, families, and the overall economy. Our Megan Shepard has more in tonight's Grander View.
Vice President of the Downtown Freeport Business Association, Jacolia Brannon, has two overarching messages. For residents, it's shop at home. And for business owners, join the DFBA. Brannon admits that she once fell victim to the convenience of shopping abroad, whether that's during travel or online. But she's admonishing Grand Bahamians to reconsider where they spend their money.
We always go to the States and we feel like that's better, right? But when we get paid, it's important that we just come and support your brother, your sister, your aunt, your uncle, and help them. You know, they're not employed with a company, so they are relying on your income to help sustain their family and their business.
And when it comes to the business community, Brannon is encouraging entrepreneurs to take advantage of the partnerships the association has fostered. Now, while they don't offer mentorship programs at the moment, she says they can point entrepreneurs in the right direction.
That is something to think about, because as business go through their off season, they kind of get discouraged. They want to know, where do we go from here? But I do know that the port offer a business retention officer who pretty much sits with them and offer that service. So that is something I know that they do at the port, and also SBDC. So getting into that arena, I think we probably may stay from that, but we just want to be able to support them.
Brannon is also thanking all of the other organizations that collaborate with them to ensure the success of stakeholders, particularly the Grand Bahama Port Authority.
And thank you to the Grand Bahama Port Authority for always answering the call when we ask for sponsor. They are a big contributor to the success of the DFBA, making sure that the revitalization continues. And we just want to make sure that any other business who is in the downtown area and you want to support Downtown Freeport Business Association, you're allowed to. No restrictions, I promise you. Just let us know that you want to be a part of what's going on and how you can assist, and we will come to your door.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Megan Shepard.
All right, thanks so much for that, Megan. Well, heavy rain showers in the capital on this Thursday and some cool weather is expected. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is in the Weather Center with your first look. Greg, what can you tell us?
Yeah, thanks, Natalia, and a happy Thursday evening, everybody. We are tapping into some very cool air mass moving across our area. That's courtesy of a frontal boundary and a high-pressure building across our area. 71 degrees outside our studios, partly cloudy to cloudy skies, and it is breezy, very breezy out there. Winds out of the west at 24 miles per hour. Feels like temperature is at 68. Satellite radar composite showing frontal boundaries moving across northwest and central Bahamas. Showers and isolated thunderstorms associated with that boundary. Both of those boundaries will eventually merge tonight and push into the southeast Bahamas by tomorrow, exiting the area by Friday. Behind that, cold air mass associated with a high pressure system will continue to keep us with some very pleasant conditions, but we do expect some return moisture for the weekend. That's a quick check on conditions around the islands. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Still to come in our news, 76 young Bahamians have completed the NTA's Workforce Preparatory Program, with dozens already securing jobs and scholarships. And On the Record is back for a new season tonight, featuring Cable Bahamas' CEO Franklin Butler II as he shares the untold story of the company's formation and future. And that's all coming up when our news returns.
Hey, Greg Thompson here, and thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button. And if you want to see more content like this, follow all of our news social media pages. And hey, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
Yo, what's good, my loyal viewers? Ronaldo Dorset of 10YS here. First of all, thanks so much for watching, but be sure to hit that follow button. If you'd like to see more content like this, follow all of the Our News social media pages, and of course, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team, well, from the teams you already trust.
It's where history meets justice. These courts decide the future, one case at a time. From e-filing to specialized courts, change is already taking root. But
76 trainees graduated from the National Training Agency's mandatory workforce preparatory program on Thursday morning. The 16 to 26-year-olds spent the last 14 weeks learning soft skills associated with several professions. 3 of the graduates got scholarships to Synergy Bahamas, and 34 have already secured jobs at organizations like Gilgan Company, Atlantis Resort, Bahamas, and Transformation Landscape Development. Trainee Carol Gardner spoke at today's graduation, giving her personal experience with the program.
When we walked in the first day, we were introduced with a soft skills training book. I quickly glanced through that book and saw headings such as attitude shape up, managing my time, teamwork, communication skills, how to write a resume, diversity, and the list went on. These people were not playing. The National Training Agency did not just teach us how to be teachers' aides, mechanics, butlers, or prepare us for other careers. We met with counselors and soft skills facilitators before even entering practical training.
The ceremony's keynote speaker, Alvin Robinson, is a former graduate of the program, now a trainer in butler services. He reflected on his journey and reminded the cohort it doesn't matter how you start, but it matters that you finish.
Many of you arrived here after setbacks. And almost all of you arrived after once doubting yourself. But guess what? You showed up. You committed. And not just that. Today we're celebrating. You finished.
Well, tonight On the Record is back for a new season, and Cable Bahamas Group of Companies CEO Franklin Butler II is sharing the untold story of Cable Bahamas. It's also the title of a 3-part docu-series highlighting the integral role Cable Bahamas played in the advancement of telecommunications in the nation over the past 30 years. He tells tonight's host, Our News anchor Megan Shepard, he's not holding back on clearing up any misconceptions about the company's formation, where it's at now, and its future legacy.
We may have started with some political controversy, and I know there are many people who talk about the story of Cable Bahamas. But what they will learn that no doubt, when you see how we perform in Dorian, when you see, even the challenges that we have from time to time, there is a lot of Bahamian excellence that is undergirding, supporting our networks, even in the good, Dorian, and keeping the Bahamas connected, and in the bad, sometimes when we don't necessarily connect your home the way you want us to. It is not that we are not focused on you, our customers. Nobody's more focused on you, our customers. And we are continuing to refine our processes and invest in everyday Bahamians to make sure that we do our part in national development.
Now, for more on the history of Cable Bahamas over the past 30 years, be sure to join our Megan Shepard for the newest season of On the Record, beginning right after this broadcast.
Coming up in sports, we have the first golf champion crowned of the season. AJ Store still shows he can get buckets, and UB is back in action on the track and volleyball court.
When I started in telecommunications in 1998, I was bored and overwhelmed because I said, this is the best kept secret in the world.
The Bahamas issued a call for a cable license.
So we were a startup, a brand new entity in a brand new country with a product that nobody really understood.
People didn't believe, it was difficult. Ingram said that will never happen.
They turned us down, and Phil decided, you know what? Well, we're gonna chart our own destiny, and we're gonna build our own network.
Once you started to hear about cable TV, it really didn't make any difference because your reality was, okay, we're gonna have one more channel, and you didn't think it was going to have such an impact until you got it.
Welcome to Our Sports presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm John Mark Nutt. Let's do show. Taylor Dixon won the 2026 Bahamas Golf Classic at Atlantis Paradise Island, capturing the first Korn Ferry Tour title of the season. Dixon shot a bogey-free tournament, finishing at a record-setting 27 under par over 4 rounds, a new low score for this event. He closed with a 7 under, 65 in Sunday's final round to secure the 3-stroke victory. This was his 3rd career Korn Ferry Tour win and came with his 100th start on the tour. Roger Sloan finished 2nd at 24 under par, one of his best results on the Korn Ferry Tour in recent seasons.
Just trying to play the best golf I could. I haven't been playing the best, but just keep going, keep moving forward like we all do, and good things can happen. As long as you're in the field, you can win.
AJ Storr helped his Ole Miss Rebels to one of the biggest upsets on the college basketball schedule last night. The Ole Miss Rebels needed overtime, but ultimately defeated the Georgia Bulldogs 97-95 last night in Athens, Georgia. Coming off the bench, Storr played 38 minutes and had a season-high 27 points as well as 8 rebounds and 4 assists. With 18 seconds left in the game, he hit the layup to tie the game at 87 to force overtime. The Rebels will ultimately win, with teammate Patton Pinkins rebounding Storr's miss to beat the buzzer and to take the final lead of the game. It marked the first win over a ranked opponent for the Rebels this season. The University of the Bahamas had a busy weekend with the start of the track and field season and the return of the volleyball season. The men and women's track and field team opened their 2026 season at the T-Birds Flyers Track and Field Classic this past weekend. Sprinters Marquel Newbold and Disha Major secured victories in the 200 and 100 meter races respectively. Newbold won the final with a time of 26.04 seconds, with teammate Major running 12.75 seconds to win a 100 meter final. Levine Joseph placed second in the open men's 800 meters race after crossing the line at 1 minute 57.32 seconds. Both teams returned to action at the DTSP Wolfpack Classic on Saturday, January 17th at the Thomas A. Robinson Track and Field Stadium. Over on the volleyball court, the team was back in action for the first time in 2026 where they took on the Sessi Poppers. UB won the matchup in 3 sets with a score of 25-13, 25-13, and 25-17. Sierra Rose and Joseph Angeniker led UB with 14 points each, with Rose scoring 12 of those points from her serves. UB returns to action against the Lady Panthers at 5 p.m. on Sunday, January 18th at the D.W. Davis Gymnasium. That would do it for Our Sports. This is 10YS. I know AJ had some ups and downs this season, but if he keeps playing how he played last game for the rest of the season, we'll have another Bahamian in the league. Back to the studio.
Still ahead on Our News tonight, a brand new dining experience is now open at the Atlantis Resort. Our Daniel Miller has the details when Our News returns. Stay with us.
From 2017, one show has set the standard for current affairs in the Bahamas, and that's On the Record, one of the longest running current affairs shows on RTV. We've been the place where newsmakers come to talk. We've sat down with leaders in government, cultural icons, industry leaders, and international experts. From breaking news to in-depth analysis, our conversation sets the tone for the nation. We've tackled the biggest issues on the planet, held world leaders accountable, and given voice to the people. From politics to culture, business to the environment, no topic is off limits. Join us every Thursday at 8 p.m. and again on Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Catch us streaming live on Facebook or catch up with your favorite episodes on our YouTube channel. 9 seasons strong, and we're just getting started. This is On the Record.
Too many suffer in silence, but silence only protects the abuser. Your feelings are real. Your safety matters. It's time to break the silence. If someone is hurting you, speak up. We will listen. We will help. I am Police Constable 4286 Sinead Douglas of the Royal Bahamas Police Force. Let us build safer communities together.
This is our news. Welcome back. Two frontal boundaries now moving through the chain of islands. The first one into the central Bahamas. That brought us some isolated showers early this morning across the capital. Second one, the actual cold front that is bringing us a cooler air mass. That's moving through the capital as we speak. Both fronts will merge eventually tonight. They will push into the southeast Bahamas by tomorrow afternoon, eventually moving out of our area by Saturday. High pressure behind that generating some breezy conditions along the boundary with the tight pressure gradient, so we're looking for some winds up to gale force. So we have a gale warning and a wind warning in effect for the northwest and central Bahamas tonight to tomorrow as this front continues to push towards the south and east. Wider look, nothing happening behind the front itself, just a large area of high pressure that will bring us some nice changes to temperatures across the chain of islands. Tapping into some of that tonight across the extreme northern islands, Grand Bahama and the Abcos. Likely to see some 50s tonight across our area. We could see some 60s during that time frame. Future forecast showing the frontal boundaries pushing towards the south, actually racing towards the south, eventually getting into southeast Bahamas, as I mentioned, by tomorrow afternoon and pulling well to the east of us. But we do expect that as that high pressure slides out towards the east, winds will turn more towards the east to southeast, bring some more moisture across the area, but we're looking for some very nice conditions as well through the rest of the weekend. Taking a look at your boating forecast tonight to tomorrow, northwest and central Bahamas, those winds will be very strong tonight, west to northwest at 20 to 30 knots across the northwest and central Bahamas, but by tomorrow afternoon, they will become more northeasterly, dropping off in speed to 50 knots, seas 5 to 8 feet, building up to 11 feet in Atlantic waters. Southeast Bahamas, we ask you to use some caution as the front approaches you by tomorrow. Southwesterly winds ahead of the front, shifting northwest and north, 10 to 15 knots, seas running 2 to 4 feet, but building up to 3 to 5 feet in Atlantic waters. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In the extended forecast, we will keep the breezy conditions tomorrow. Those clouds will clear out nicely. Temperatures will stay in the low 70s across our area. And then we expect more moisture to return on Saturday. A second front expected by Sunday, and that will continue to reinforce the nice conditions we expect for the weekend. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night, everybody.
All right, thanks so much for that, Greg. I'm looking forward to the cooler temperatures. Well, one thing everyone loves is a new dining experience complete with great food, and that is exactly what the team at the Atlantis Resort is looking to provide for locals and guests. Tonight, our Daniel Miller is putting their newest restaurant, Amber, to the taste test.
Amber is Atlantis' newest restaurant on their food and beverage lineup, and they promise familiar flavors with a global flair and some island soul. I have Amber's menus in front of me. There are two menus. There is a lunch menu and then there is a dinner menu. And so far what I am seeing here is the lunch menu. You know, when you feel overwhelmed with the options, it's not like that. Everything is clear cut and here, and the team told me that was very intentional. This is their drink menu, and they brought me out all of their popular drinks. This is the Pineapple Passion, this is the Mexican Mule, and this is the Amber Espresso. Ooh. Jesus, they bring me a next drink. Okay, this is the Bahama Culata. This is one of their best sellers here. They have brought out the dishes for me to try, and I have the burrata salad, the citrus pure salmon. Then I have the I have my menu in front of me, right? Because I want to make sure I get it right. This is the cauliflower bites, and then this is the Bahamian lobster bun.
This one is the jumbo grilled prawns with corn ribs. Clarifying butter.
Y'all see that just come out? I had to call the chef out here, y'all. The food was incredible. Thank you so much. This was a great experience. I would invite everybody, come to Amber. Look at the chef leaving. He going back to cook, y'all. All right, reporting. You're good. Reporting for our news, I'm Danielle Miller.
All right, Danny, the food looks amazing. You must take me next time. Now, if you want to see that story again, it's available now at ournews.bs. And with that, we thank you so much for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Natalia Hall. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a great evening.